Hello, welcome to today's live stream all about how to stop sabotaging your team. I am so excited for this. If you're here live with me, let me know in the comments if you currently have a team, what size of team you're working with, and how you're feeling when it comes to leading your team. I'm actually going to take a minute, just make sure I go live on Instagram as well. I seem to have an issue with that. There we go. Okay, thanks everyone for being here. So if this sounds like you, let me know in the comments. Are you feeling frustrated with your team? Are you feeling like you're tired of constantly catching mistakes or redoing their work? Do you feel like it would be easier to just go back to doing it all by yourself? I have heard many of these things from my clients, from people in my community, from friends who are business owners. Sometimes we think that hiring a team member, whether it's a contractor or an employee, is going to solve all of our problems like magic. And lo and behold, we run into issues. We're frustrated and we're disappointed. So I have to tell you something though. If that is something you're experiencing, your inclination may be that something is wrong with the team member, right? You may think they're not good enough. They're not as qualified as I thought. Why can't they do this? No one can be like me. But the truth is that the problem isn't always the team member. The problem is often you as the manager or the leader. And that's why today I'm sharing the critical mistakes that you might be making right now that are sabotaging your current team and setting them up to fail, making it almost impossible for them to succeed. So I'm excited to have you here live. This is going to be a great live stream. If you're here with me, let me know in the comments how you're doing, what size of team you're at right now, contractors, full-time employees, wherever you're at in the spectrum, whether you're about to hire your first VA or you have a team of 10 or more full-time employees, this will be relevant to you and your business. And I'm so excited to have you here today. Now, before we jump into the teaching content and the training, I just want to go ahead and let you know that next week, we're actually hosting a brand new private training that you do have to apply for to get an invitation. It's called the CEO Operating System. You're going to learn about the 5 phases of scaling to 6, 7, and beyond figures for coaches, course creators, and service providers. So if that is you, then you just need to fill out a short application at meganmins.com/apply. Or you can text the word apply, which you should see if you're with me on YouTube or Facebook in the top right corner. Text apply to 855-621-1533 and we'll get you all set up. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. So I have talked to a lot of business owners who are frustrated with their team. They're disappointed with the quality of work that's being done. They're discouraged about delegating. If any of this is you, let me know in the comments. Give me a reaction. Let me know how you're feeling right now about your team and about the situation. And this actually happened with one of our Empowered CEO clients recently. She was talking with her accountability advisor in the program and expressing some frustrations that she was feeling with her team. But when we started digging deeper and when her advisor was digging deeper with her, they realized that she hadn't set her contractor up for success. She was asking her team member to do things not originally in the job description. She was not giving examples or instructions of what she was looking for. She was not providing any meaningful or tangible feedback to her team member on the work that was being done, and basically setting her team member up to fail. Who could succeed under those circumstances? Could you succeed under those circumstances if you were working for someone else? And how can we hold team members to such high expectations while giving them such little support to do the work? So would you expect, for example, someone to be able to master your voice in an email if you never sent them any example content to repurpose or use as an example? If you never sent them a voice memo note, if you never sent them a voice brand guide, or gave them any feedback on what they were doing to start with? Could you really expect someone to actually succeed under those conditions? I see this time and time again. Business owners hiring a team member, expecting perfection right out of the gate, and getting frustrated when they don't get it in return. Meanwhile, their team member is just doing the best they can. They're showing up with the best information they have, the best context, the best knowledge, and doing their absolute best. And this misalignment and expectations and support. And the result is how you are sabotaging your entire team. Because it doesn't matter how much experience someone has. It doesn't matter how much you pay them or if they're full-time or part-time or contract. If you don't have effective systems set up to support them, if you don't learn as a manager how to communicate expectations and provide feedback regularly and frequently, if you don't give them resources, context, or support, they really can't be expected to do A++ work, especially right out of the gate. We are setting unrealistic expectations, and we are not doing our part as the manager or the leader to set our team up for success. Part of managing, well, again, contractors, employees, the whole spectrum, part of managing is learning how to be an effective leader. That's why there's so many books out there about leadership. That's why there's so much out there about this, because it's difficult. It's not always intuitive. We're not born knowing how to lead or manage. It is a skill we have to build. It is a muscle we have to get stronger at. And it's an area where I think online business owners in particular are lacking support, lacking guidance, lacking resources. No one's talking about this. You can go everywhere to find the latest marketing strategy, but where do you go to find out how to actually lead the team members you have? Because you can spend all of your time and money hiring, and if you don't actually support them, those team members will leave. People leave companies not because of the company or always the pay or always the benefits or their work or whatever. They're leaving managers. I know I felt that way. If you've ever worked in corporate and you left a job because of your boss or your manager, or if you have clients at all, if you ever stopped working with a client because you didn't like working with them, say something in the comments or leave an emoji, because this is exactly what happens. I was so desperate to leave corporate back in 2015 because of my boss. I was great at HR. I still do it today. I loved human resources and recruiting. I hated my manager, and I didn't feel supported, and I didn't feel heard by my team and my department. So I left. And this happens in the online space too, with contractors and employees. So the next time you're frustrated with your team or you're feeling disappointed, I want you to check in with yourself and ask yourself a few key questions in order to understand what's happening here. Is it truly the wrong person in the wrong seat, or is it something on your end? So ask yourself the following questions. If you're here live, you can always repeat these questions back in the comments for other people, or just maybe make a note really quick. But ask yourself the following questions. Am I asking my team member to do something that we've previously agreed on and that they were hired to do? Is this something like they knew they were going to do? Or are you asking them to write an email when you hired them to do social media? So where are we at with that? The second question to ask yourself is, am I giving this team member all of the context, resources, and information that they need in order to be set up for success? Have you told them the bigger why, how this fits in, the ripple effect, what your desired outcome is? Have we given them things like I mentioned earlier, a brand voice guide or examples or something to inspire them or give them a visual of what you're looking for? Have we set the team member up for success with resources and examples? The third question is, has the desired outcome of this work been properly communicated? Do they understand why they are doing it and what exactly they are expected to contribute? There's a very big difference between repurpose my content on Instagram, and that's all you say, and I want to have one post on my Instagram feed Monday through Friday, every day with these 5 qualifications. Huge, huge, huge shift. You can go even farther by not caring about how many times you post on the feed, but saying that you want to get, 5 new leads from Instagram every week. Huge shift in how someone is approaching their work, how creative they might be, how inspired they are, how they approach things. So we can't just do the first part and say, I want repurpose to put me on Instagram and expect to always get 5 leads consistently. We haven't communicated that. Hopefully you guys are starting to see this come together. If this is resonating with you, if this is making sense, let me know if you're here live in the comments or if you're watching the replay so that I can know that this is starting to resonate. The fourth question you need to ask yourself is, do I have processes in place for communicating with my team member on their work besides when they ask me for feedback? So are you proactively giving them feedback and coaching and mentorship and support regularly, or are you waiting for them to come to you? Of course, when your team member comes to you, we want to answer their questions and give them feedback. But there's a huge shift in ownership as the manager when you're proactively supporting and giving feedback to your team member, even without them having to always ask. There's a big nuance to that, but I want to go ahead and highlight that you need to practice communicating. You need to practice giving feedback instead of just saying, yeah, looks great, and secretly you hate it and you want to change everything, and maybe sometimes you do. What a missed opportunity for them to learn. And the last and fifth question you want to ask them is the current workflow or system or process in place right now overly complicated and making it difficult for them to see something through from start to finish? If you have a bunch of contractors, maybe you have 5 or 10 contractors who all have to collaborate together on one single piece of content going live, you might be overcomplicating the entire process. If you have 2 or 3 people all managing your social media, you might be overcomplicating the process. It's going to make it very difficult for any one person to really push things through at an efficient, fast rate for consistent quality of work. So it's always worth checking with yourself, have we overcomplicated the process? So I really want you, next time you're feeling frustrated with a team member or disappointed, I want you to check in with yourself first and ask yourself those 5 questions to understand where the real issue is. Could you be doing a better job? Or do we have a real issue with the right person being in your company and working for you? Now, it's okay if you're realizing right now that you maybe haven't been doing the best job of setting your team up for success. That's okay. You're in the right place. You have had a good realization today, hopefully, and you're at the right starting point to just start doing things differently today from this point forward. You don't have to wait to become a better manager or leader until, X, Y, and Z. You can start today just by starting to ask yourself those questions and starting to make simple changes in the way you set your team up for success and stop sabotaging them. So the good news is that leadership, management, and communication can all be taught. It can all be improved. You can get better at it. You can practice. So all hope is not lost. And that's exactly what we do in our program, Empowered CEO. That's what I'm passionate about. And that's why I'm hosting a brand new private training next week, all about growing, scaling, and running your online business so that you can be confident. You can be an effective leader. It's not only just about hiring the right people, it's about supporting them once they're on the team and helping you truly create that dream team you've always wanted. That's why we're hosting our private training next week. It's called the CEO Operating System. So you're going to learn what that actually means. And the 5 phases of scaling to 6, multi-6, 7 figures and beyond for coaches, course creators, and service providers. You do have to apply in order to get an invitation. We want this to be a really small, intimate group. So make sure you go to meganmins.com/apply. Take 2 minutes to fill out our really short application. There's only 2 questions plus your contact information. And if it's a good fit, we will be in touch with you on next steps and how to join us live next Thursday for this amazing private training. It's brand new information we've never taught publicly, and I'm so excited. You can also text us at 855-621-1533. Just text the word apply, and my team will be in touch with you on how to learn more about Empowered CEO and how to get access to the private training next week. So hopefully we get to see you next week, next Thursday, January 21st at the private training. We'd love to see you there live so I can answer your questions about this as well. You do not need to be a part of Empowered CEO to attend this training, but we do need you to fill out the application to see if you're a good fit in order to apply or in order to attend. So it's an application only live event, but we're so excited. We would love to have you there. If any of this resonated with you, leave a comment below, share this with a friend that you think would benefit. And hopefully we see your application come through the doors today and we get to spend some time with you live next Thursday. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.